Hey, what's going on, beautiful Jellyfish? It's Tracy. Today we're going to be talking about GP Vegas. Two things before we get started. First off, I'm wearing this Frozen shirt because I'm actually 5 years old. Second thing, I got a tattoo. I don't know how we're going to be able to see that. Can you see that? Am I like in frame? Okay, there we go. Sweet. It says every beautiful rejection, and sorry it's like scabbing over and stuff and like all dead skin, lovely stuff like that. Yeah, I got this like last week. I'm in love. I really love it. Did not hurt, honestly, as much as I thought it would. Like, obviously it's really small and you only had to go over it like once, and there's really not that much there, but I'm really glad that I got something really simple for my first one. I like definitely getting more, but I like don't know. It's complicated. Anyways, so I wanted to do this video on GP Vegas, and I've actually already done another video where I kind of just like talk about stuff in general, but this is like how I am like prepping, I would say, and like what I'm like doing for this. And I've never really like thought about how I would kind of like emotionally and physically and mentally like prepare myself for a GP. And I did go to like one GP, so this is my second. I went to like a GP like Pittsburgh back like, oh my gosh, was this like, this was a really long time ago. This was like 2015, I think, so it's been like a really long time since I've been to like a Magic tournament this big. First off, a Magic tournament in general, I haven't been in a really long time. One of the things too that is a huge bummer, I would say, with moving to Texas is like we don't have like that many tournaments around. Like back when I lived in New York, there was a tournament every weekend. Every weekend there was like a PTQ or an IQ or anything. We don't really have that here, which is like a huge bummer. We're definitely gonna have to like travel and stuff for tournaments, but here's kind of like the deal is I'm playing blue-white control, and I kind of talked in like my other video about I was originally gonna play Grixis and switched kind of, I would say, at the last minute to blue-white, and it's just a deck I feel way more comfortable with. Even though I haven't had much practice, I don't really know how to fully explain it. It's just something I feel more secure with. And it's a deck style I've played with before. It's also a control deck. It's not like I'm going from like playing control to like aggro. Like that would be completely different. I would need a lot of practicing with that. But unfortunately for me, it's really hard to goldfish and practice with blue-white control or control decks in general unless you're playing with someone. So I don't really know what I'm gonna do, to be honest. I could try like, I don't have MTGO, which I know, shame on me, I need to have MTGO, but we're getting there at some point. It's just like money to dump into that, and it's just, yeah. So, kind of the first thing I would say that I'm gonna like do that I always really like is I like to just like lay the deck out. This just always really helps me. I'm a very visual person, and I think just visually seeing like what the deck like looks like as a whole is going to be really beneficial. Another thing too that I may do, which I'm playing with like Teferi. Teferi's like a totally new card to me. I've never played with him before. And I think it'd be really interesting. Again, I know it's going to be hard to goldfish it, but like I still want to do it. And I want to also see like sample hands and like what I'm working with, and like, you know, when I cast like Serum Visions, like what do I get, and like what does that look like, how does like my mana base, you know, look like, and all that kind of stuff. So I really want to like lay the deck out to see how it looks, to see like how the curve looks and like all that kind of stuff. I'm at the point where I can't really make deck changes. I'm doing this list and I'm going with it, so I don't really have room to like change the deck. The reason for this is because I'm buying cards from my friend Zane at Vegas, and I don't have really room to like change cards at this point, which is kind of unfortunate. And I will say that in the future, if you have access to cards, definitely try to see what cards you want to change out. This is like especially good for like sideboards, which leads me to my next point. One thing I'm going to be doing that I would recommend is to really look at like what the current meta looks like, because this is something that literally changes every single day, like every week pretty much it changes. There's going to be, I think that's like the big thing that a lot of people don't get, is how much it changes. So the deck that you're super excited about, that you think is going to be great, that's awesome, but that may not be the case at this GP or at the next GP or at the Pro Tour or at an IQ or like whatever it is. It changes like all the time, and I think really good Magic players like recognize that. And here's where I think you get into the fine line that I've talked about this is, do you play the deck you're comfortable with, or do you play the deck that you think is going to be the best? I think that Blue-White is positioned Blue-White and Jeskai are positioned really well right now. I do feel like a lot of people think that there's a much better advantage of playing Jeskai. I do think that Jeskai is really sweet. There's not really a reason why I'm not running that, I would say, other than maybe like the mana base, because I need like Arid Mesas. But oh, it was Tarns. Actually, you know, I have Tarns. I don't have Arid Mesas though, and Tarns are like more expensive. So I could realistically get with that, but I probably need like some Arid Mesas, like 2 at least. Anyways, if you're someone like me who likes to watch coverage, I would definitely do that. What's really nice, so like here's how my week is kind of looking. I don't know when you guys are going to see this video. I'm pretty sure on Tuesday, but I may post it tomorrow. We have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and kind of the weird way that this is happening is our flight is Wednesday night. I wanted to get a flight on Thursday. However, this just could not happen because all of the flights were like so late at night. And this is one tip I would just say, is if you're someone like me who needs sleep, like I'm not someone who thrives off of like 5 hours of sleep. Did that for GP Vegas, never, I'm sorry, for GP Pittsburgh, never again. I will never do that. It was awful. I played so poorly. I was so tired all day, and it was just not great. I do have to say though, like totally quick side note, I'm a vegan, and I noticed like ever since I became a vegan, I have so much more energy, which I mean like makes so much sense. But like, I think that's like a huge thing, and I can't really attribute it to like anything else, I would say, because I'm still getting like the same amount of sleep. It's just like I noticed like ever since I became one, I have like so much more energy, which is super awesome. So I do feel like I'm in a much better headspace and like physical like space, I would say, than I was back when I played at the other GP. Back a couple of years ago. So that's something that I will say. Sleep, eat food. We're making a plan. Oh, so the flights. Okay, sorry, this is like all over the place. So, the flights, I really wanted to get it, but all the flights were late at night. So I'm like, we're not doing that. So we got a flight for Wednesday night, and we're gonna arrive, you know, late, and then pretty much just like go to the hotel and like sleep. That's pretty much gonna be the plan. Like, I've never been on a plane before. It's my first time. Pretty nervous, pretty excited. So we're going to, quick story for those who are curious, my dad growing up hates flying like to this day now. It's gonna be really interesting when they come and visit me in Texas because my family lives in New York. Interesting. So anyways, growing up, like we never flew, we just drove places. We didn't do anything crazy. Like the craziest drive we ever did was when we drove from New York to Texas. That was crazy. That was like 27 hours. Pretty nuts. Pretty fun actually though. It was not that bad. So anyways, growing up, we just never did that, so I just never flew. So that's my story. People are gonna be like, you've never been on a plane before. I get that all the time. It's like not really a big deal. I don't get why it's a big deal. But anyways, so we have like Thursday to ourselves, which is actually really cool. So pretty much what that looks like is, I don't really know at this point. I really don't. I wish like I knew kind of like more structure, because I'm like someone who likes to plan things, but probably go out, get like brunch or something somewhere, and I have to go pick up my cards. Like I said, I'm buying them for my friend Zine, so like I have to go to like the convention center and like do that, probably like walk around, you know, like check out some booths and like stuff like that. And I want to like put the deck together so I have like all the cards assembled, you know, double, triple, million check my deck list, make sure everything is good. That's another thing too that I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna write down on a piece of paper my deck list so that I can have it, and then I can, when I'm transferring it, that is like one of the things that when you're really familiar with the deck, like when you've played this deck like all the time, like years and years, and you've barely changed cards, that's awesome, and you probably have your deck list memorized, and like I do know like the cards in my deck, but like it's that nervous thing, like I'm nervous that I'm gonna forget something, so I'm gonna write that down so I have my list, and when I lay my deck out, that's what I'm gonna do. reminded myself of that right now. Good job, Tracy. Pat on the shoulder. So, that's one thing that I really want to do and that I would really recommend, because you don't want to be like, tournament starts at 9 o'clock, it's 8:45 and you're scrambling to like write your deck list down. I would not really recommend doing that. Again, just as like a nervous kind of like thing. So anyways, Wednesdays we're gonna get the cards, and then I don't really know what else we're gonna be doing. To be honest, like, it's kind of one of those things, like, I feel like prepping for a GP is like, or a tournament is really kind of like taking a test, if that makes sense. We're gonna use a school analogy because I'm a teacher. And it's kind of one of those things where like you prep and prep and prep and prep and like you know it, but you're still so nervous obviously for it because you're taking like this really big test. You're going to this really big tournament. And it's kind of one of those things where you have to at some point like put your books down and just be like, whatever happens, happens. Like, I'm gonna do my absolute best on that. And that's like always been my thing, and like that's always what I tell my kids. I work at a charter school, and like, I tell my kids that all the time. They're like, hey, miss, like, I didn't do well on, like, this thing. And I'm like, okay, like, because, you know, kids are, like, test so much now. I'm like, cool, like, okay, how do you think you did on this test? And they're like, not very well. And I'm like, okay, did you try your best? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, that's all I'm asking of you, is that you try your absolute best for this. So, like, in this, have I slaved away? Have I jammed a million games of Moto? No. Have I, like, goldfished a ton? No. I'm gonna do my prepping, like, this week, which, yes, is last minute, but I also kind of look at that where, like, yes, is it important to, like, get practice, like, the week prior? Yeah, absolutely, but it's my summer vacation. I was enjoying it, and, like, should I have been practicing? Should I have been doing that? Yeah, sure, but, like, also I've been watching Magic, and that's kind of, like, I would say, like, my studying for each day, is I think really watching Magic has made me such a better Magic player that I'm like, you know something, like, yes, I'm not physically holding the cards in my hand, but like, I'm still getting experience and I'm still gaining knowledge. And I think that's like really important, that I'm gonna learn better by physically doing it. Yes, absolutely. But I still get better at watching Magic, even though it's not like, I talked about this in a video where I talked about coverage. It's like, I may not be watching, like, every matchup is going to be, like, a control matchup. I get that. But, like, even if I watch matchups that I'm like, cool, I'm not very familiar with this deck, it gives me, like, insight into that, which is really important. Okay, cool. So another thing that we are definitely going to be doing on Wednesday is we're going to be stopping at a grocery store, or probably grocery store, and just picking up food. I'm probably going to pick up, not gonna lie, like a loaf of bread, so that I can just bring bread and like eat bread and like crackers, maybe get like some fruit in there. I really like bananas, so maybe grab some bananas and stuff, because I am a total snacker. Also, again, I'm a vegan, so probably can't eat anything at the convention center. It's story of my life. So I'm like, all right, cool, like I'll just bring food and then I could just like eat stuff there. And then, like, you know, I think that's like one thing that a lot of people don't do. And also water. This is not my regular water bottle, but it's being cleaned right now. But I have a water bottle that I'm like constantly going to be refilling, because I need to stay hydrated. That's like very important to me, and I really can't go without water. I'm someone who drinks like a lot of water each day, which is really good for you. So yeah, we're definitely going to be doing that on Wednesday, and then the tournament is we're going to be doing that Thursday, and then the tournament is Friday and Saturday. I'm like so thrown off by like this week. It's like super weird. Okay. And then I would say my kind of thing is, again, like my test analogy, I'm just gonna like relax. I'm just gonna be like, okay, Tracy, like, I'm not like confident, like I'm gonna just destroy this GP. Like, it's not like that. But I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling secure in this deck. I'm gonna do my practicing before, and I'm just gonna like do the best I can, and I'm gonna learn a lot, and that's gonna be like the main important thing. And I'm gonna be taking notes, because I think I mentioned this in my other video. When I do my recap video after the GP, I want to have notes because I can remember. Because like, if I film the video a couple days later, I'm not gonna remember what I played in round 3. Like, it's just not gonna happen. So, and another thing too is I just want to like have fun. I want to like meet people. There's like so many people that are going that I like totally just want to like meet for the first time. Like, there's so many other YouTubers and like all these cool people that I'm just really excited to like, you know, talk to and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, again, I'm kind of just gonna like you know, like, put the books away, be like, okay, cool, like, I've done my prepping, I've done what I can for this deck, I'm just gonna play the best I can and just, like, really have fun, because, like, I really enjoy this deck. And it's also kind of exciting, too, like, I'm excited to kind of, like, debut, like, this list and this deck, like, at this tournament. Like, it's something new, it's, like, something I brewed up, it's something, like, I spent a lot of time on, like, I spent a lot of hours on this list, like, I had a lot of back and forth conversations with Zane, like, we brewed the deck together, not like we brewed the deck together, like, I brewed the deck, and then he was like, okay, this is what, like, we should change, and, like, all that kind of stuff, and we did that way, which is really sweet, and I really like that style of deck building, getting people's opinions on it and all that kind of stuff, and we kind of, like, came up with this list, and I'm really, really happy about it, because, like, one thing, too, that I feel like a lot of times when, like, I share my deck list with people is that everyone's focusing on changing it, and, like, then it becomes, like, not me, and, like, that I don't like at all. Like, I want like, there's always gonna be, like, that signature, that's a Tracy card. Like Karanos in Grixis Control, that's a Tracy card. Like, that's a card people know me for, and, like, that, and I do that for a very specific reason, not for, like, to throw people, okay, I do it to throw people off, but not to, like, throw them off to be like, whoa, that's tech. Like, I do it because I legitimately think it's really good. Like, I think I talked about this in a video where it's like, if you're doing something different, like, do it with a reason, don't just, like, oh, I run Karanos because, like, I want people to notice me. Like, no, like, I do it because I think it's really good and really sweet and really hard for people to deal with, interact with. So, yes, if you're going to Vegas, please let me know, because I'm really excited about this GP. And that is pretty much all I got for this video. This is kind of like how I'm, like, mentally, physically, emotionally preparing for this. I'm trying not to let, like, nerves and mainly anxiety just, like, hit me, just to, like, chill out, relax. It's fun. Like, a lot of people view Magic as, like, really competitive. I've always viewed it as, like, something that's fun. Yes, absolutely, there's a competitive aspect to it, and, like, that, you know, makes me nervous and gives me a lot of anxiety, but, like, it's still something that's very fun, and I try to, like, embrace that as best as I can. Alright, that's it. I will see you guys in my next video for my GP Vegas recap. Bye.